Hello, my name is Dieter and welcome to Win Some Loosemore. You join me for Why I Like, a series of videos where I take you through some of the games in our collection. I tell you why I like them. And today I'm going to tell you why I like Patchwork. Patchwork is a two-player only abstract game with Tetris-style pieces where you're trying to build the best patchwork blanket in front of you. Using buttons as resources. Why don't I show you quickly how it works, and then we'll come back and explain why I like Patchwork. So here we have the game set up. Each player has their board. The green player and the yellow player both start with 5 buttons to begin with. We've randomly laid out all the tiles in a circle, and you place this little token here to the left of the smallest piece, which is this one, the 2, 1. And we've got the scoreboard in the middle with the 2 markers, and then some of these single tiles, which we'll get to in a minute, and then all the piles of buttons there to be used in the game. And then this little bonus tile, the first person to complete a 7x7 within their 9x9 will get these bonus 7 points. Here it is. So let's say yellow player's going first down here. And so what we do on your turn, you can take any of the 3 pieces that is clockwise next to the wooden marker. So right now we have this one, this one, this one. Now on a tile, you will see a few things. There are 2 numbers. The first number with the buttons is how much it would cost for you to get this. And the second number is the amount of time it takes to sew this patch in and how many spaces we'd move on the board. And then some will have these buttons, which will be for production, which we'll come to later. This one costs 6, so I can't buy that because you only start with 5. So I have a choice of this awkward shape, which is actually free and moves me 3 and gains me 1 production, or this one, slightly more useful, costs me 1, uses 2 but no production. I'm going to go for the free one and risk it a little bit. So I would claim this one, and from wherever that piece came from, that's where this little pawn moves to. So now these are the 3 available, and I will place this somewhere on my board. Because it was 3, we go now to the track here on the yellow player, so I move forward 1, 2, 3 spaces. Thereafter, the person whose go it is the person who is furthest behind on the board. Or if you are on top, if you've landed on the same space, you get to go again. So that's one thing I could do. Then it would go to the green player's turn and they'll do the same thing. So let's have a look at what's available. So still that 1, 2 or 4. They're going to take this one and pay 4 to the supply. And so we move the token along, so you see more and more become available and they get fewer and fewer. Let's do something I can actually afford. Let's take the next one along, so pay 2 to get this one, because it costs me 2, and then it moves me 3. Sorry, this person moved along 2, it should have been green again. I've cheated. So let's take those back. They are going to take this one that nope, they can't afford it. They can afford that last one. The other option you can do, either buy one or move to one place ahead of your opponent and gain buttons for as many spaces as you moved. But I think they are actually going to pay their 1 and take this and put that there and hope for a single space later. So they move now forward 4, 1, 2, oops, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on the track, let's zoom in. On the track there are buttons. If at any point you move past a button, like this green one has, that's how you trigger production. So you count how many buttons are visible on your board, so currently 2 for the green person, and so they will gain from the supply or will have produced 2 buttons. So that's how you get more. You're building your little economy there. So now it's my turn. Oh, this one should have moved here. It's now my turn and it's less good. 7, 3 and 4. Yeah, let's pay the 3 to the supply to get this one. move it there, move forward 4 spaces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and similarly I produce 2. And that's pretty much the whole game. You keep going round, this moves forward, you get smaller and smaller. If you can't go, you move in front of. These single tiles are like the buttons. If, let's just say, we're further on in the game and we have come here, oops, there we go. Let's say we've moved here, and my turn as yellow player, I am going to spend, we'll just cheat, because we can. Let's say that we're actually here. So I'll spend the 1 to gain this 5. I move forward 5 spaces. Where am I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And because I've passed it, I gain the single tile and it goes immediately on my board. And thankfully, by placing that one, I've just created a single space. And so that one just pops in there. That is the only way to fill gaps. You keep going round. When you come to the end, there is a final button. So there's a final production that you do when you get there. And at the end, you count up how many buttons you have in your supply. Then you minus 2 buttons for every square you've not been able to fill. As I say, the first person to have completed a full 7x7 went on there 9x9 gets a bonus 7 points. And whoever has the most points at the end wins. So that's how it works, but why do I like it? Well, it's a very simple game. We've had a lot of fun trying it out. There are now quite a few of these polyomino, I think people call them, games, the Tetris style pieces where you're trying to create something. We've got another one called Bear and Park where you're building a bear park. This one, because it's just a simple theme, it's kind of there, it doesn't really matter. It helps me, weirdly. Normally theme helps me a lot, but because this is an abstract game and it's got kind of a theme that in itself is quite abstract, that's helpful to me. So I can just focus on building up my board. I don't need to worry about the pattern itself and how they fit together in terms of having colors together or anything like that. This is simply fill as much of my board as possible, whilst then having the extra thought process of building my economy. Having that production cycle of passing buttons and getting back as many as you can, at first glance looks like, okay, cool, that's how I generate the resources to get new patches, new tiles, but what I often forget and what I really enjoy is that is also how you generate the points for the end of game. Do you just go for high production so that you get loads so you can buy all the expensive ones, or do you go high production early to then generate loads but then spend very few so you're getting loads of points towards the end? I like the range of, I want to say strategy, but I'm not sure it quite qualifies as that because it's such a fast game, because it's such a simple game and you don't know what the other person's going to take, if they're going to take anything at all. I hesitate to call it strategy. It's not like I can sit down and plan out the approach that I'm going to have. Maybe you can. Maybe that's just how my brain works. I'm a little bit more reactive, a little bit more tactical, going, oh, I could go for this now. I could go for this now. But it gives you that choice, which is nice, even in such a light, simple game, because it's so light, because it's so accessible, because it's so familiar to a lot of people, having those different shapes. Everyone knows what Tetris is. It's nice and accessible for a wide group of people. I'm hoping to try and convince my mum to play this with me, because I think it's something she would enjoy, this visual puzzle aspect, but a theme that is, again, so inoffensive that it's just nice. Having the different pieces, it just looks nice. The pieces are really colourful, that's something I should say. It's a pretty game. We like looking at it. Even the box itself is an attractive box, and yeah, everything just looks nice together. I imagine you could do like a deluxeified version with actual buttons if you wanted to, but what's the point? The cardboard works just fine. And that the other components are wood we really like. I prefer wood to plastic, and it fits with this rusticy theme of building a blanket to have wooden pieces. So that all hangs together nicely. So it's a fun game, it's a fast game. It's nice to have a 2-player only game. It's different than other types of games, just using these shapes. I like the clockwise circle system, that's good. I like that there's always something you can do. That's a really key thing that perhaps Baron Park misses a little bit. Might be why I prefer this one. There's always something you can do that isn't a bad turn. It's not like, oh, I foolishly did this, therefore I've left myself in a hole. It's actually, I can't afford anything that's coming because of what my opponent's done, so I can just jump in front of them and take the points. At the very least, I'm gaining resources or points for the end of the game. So having just that simple catch-up mechanism, I think, just elevates this game into, again, it gives you more depth of choice. Like, there are many times where Kirsty won't buy one she can afford just to do the jump thing because I happen to be 5 or 6 places ahead, and it actually benefits her more to take those things and potentially trigger the end of the game before I finish what I'm doing, or to make me take one of the pieces I didn't want, whatever it might be. For a light, simple, fun game, there's a good amount of depth. Not crazy deep, not crazy complex, just enough that it's engaging every time. We're enjoying it a lot. So that's about it. It's a nice, quick, simple game. So this is a nice, quick, simple comment on it. Patchwork, really cool game. Do check it out. Thank you very much for watching. I'll post more of these videos as I do them on various games. There's quite a few that have come in that I'd like to do these videos for. In the meantime, do follow us on social media. We are on Twitter at WSomeElmore, Instagram at WinSomeLoosemore. We've got a Facebook page that's sort of running. We'll try to keep that all updated so you can see what we are up to. If you are interested, do subscribe to this channel if you don't already, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you stay updated when we put out new videos. But until then, I have been Dieter for WinSomeLoosemore. Goodbye.